The next 10 minutes, I'm gonna save you the headache of making 5 very common eBay selling mistakes. These are mistakes that I believe can make or break your ability to both be noticed and even sell enough items. But if you pay really close attention, these can also transform your sales revenue. My name is Ty Wilson. I host a show called Chasing Cardboard, and I resell tens of thousands of items every single year, and I've been doing it for over a decade. Look, eBay's amazing. That's why you're here. It's the largest online reseller marketplace in the world, and it provides countless opportunities to build a side hustle. But because of its grandiose nature, it's competitive and it's fickle. Today, I'm going to share the top 5 mistakes eBay resellers make and how you can avoid these with some very simple tweaks. So let's dive in. Number 1, neglecting item specifics. A few years ago, eBay shifted their listing/search process across many of the categories. The biggest change in that shift was the implementation of item specifics. These are the additional fields inside of your listing that allow you to clarify details about your item. For instance, in clothing, these are specifics like size, color, brand, and material. In sports cars, they could be brand, year, player, serial number, graded, etc. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I don't need to take all of that time to fill out additional product specifics. They're in my title, and they're probably even in my description. I know you're thinking that because I was the exact same way. Well, you'd be wrong, because your item specifics impact 2 extremely important drivers of traffic that don't get picked up in the title. First, they give an eBay user the ability to use filter features on the left-hand side of the search. Hopefully you're an eBay buyer yourself and you understand how useful these filters are. Well, those filters, they're driven exclusively by item specifics. And if your item doesn't have that data, they're not gonna show up in filtered searches. That's really, really big. Now, you don't wanna be disappearing from critical and probably more motivated buyer searches, but it gets better. The second important driver is external traffic to your items. You know what I'm talking about. Those Google searches, the ones that you make and you get presented with an item in the search results. The Google shopping results right underneath the search bar are a significant and fast-growing traffic driver for eBay items. In fact, eBay's investing a lot into that. And guess what dictates those search results? Yep, 100% based on item specifics. If you don't fill out your item specifics, your item doesn't even get picked up by the Google search results. That is a gigantic missed opportunity. So, number 1, use item specifics. Second mistake is a photo misunderstanding. We're in 2024 and you think that photos would eventually stop being something that are missed. We got 20 gazillion megapixels in our pockets. We have advanced AI techniques. We got Canva, for crying out loud. But there are some serious missed opportunities with photos across eBay sellers. The first is quantity. Did you know that eBay gives your item a higher search score if you have at least 3 pictures in your listing? If you have 3 or more pictures, you get additional points in the eBay scoring. This is something I just recently confirmed, and it's probably one of the easiest fixes you can make on your listings going forward. You simply add a 3rd picture from a different angle, maybe a close-up shot, or maybe even an advertisement for your brand as a 3rd picture. Why would you not add a 3rd picture? It's a super easy fix. The second is quality. Look, I sell sports cards, I have for years, and about 5 years ago, I switched to 300 DPI scans of all my cards. This is a very high quality, high resolution scan. I could probably get away with even higher resolution today because of better compression technology. But that switch enabled my buyers to zoom in and check out the cards the way they wanted. They could go look at the edges of the card. They could review the corners. They could really inspect the surface. So not only did it improve customer satisfaction, it reduced the number of questions I received and also reduced my return rates. Good quality pictures remove many of the question marks that your buyers might have. And your job as a seller is to make the buyer feel comfortable. So improve quality with your photos. The third thing you can do is brand your photos. Did you know that eBay allows you to do that? You can brand your pictures. You can add your logo or maybe a header footer on your images. That means that every time your picture is seen across searches or item views, your brand could also be presented to them. And it's super easy to do in most of the scanning photo platforms on the market. In fact, if you join our free email list right here below, you'll get tips like this every few weeks, and I'll share some thoughts on tech platforms that might help you. Branding your photos isn't for everyone though. You might not care about building your brand, and that's totally fine, but if you are, use this free advertising to stick your brand into someone's memory. Stop misunderstanding photos and use them to your advantage. The third mistake is being a lazy shipper. This is a hill that I'm going to die on, and if you've watched my other videos, you know how much I believe in shipping. I wholeheartedly believe that shipping should be one area of your business that you never attempt to cut corners on. All of your customer interactions up to the point of shipping are non-physical. They're words, they're images, and they're representations of what is to come. They are essentially promises. And then your customer walks out to the mailbox, pulls out his package, and all of those promises become reality. The first physical representation of your brand is your shipping. This is the moment that you set the tone for satisfaction, for feedback, and even repeat buying. Shipping is vital, and it's the area of my eBay business that I believe has led to the most growth. So what are some ways that you can improve your shipping? Well, here are some practical tips. The first thing you can do is don't try to make money, and don't even try to save money on shipping. That's right, shipping is not the area of your business where you need to be cheap. Charge your customers what it's going to cost to ship. If Ground Advantage is $4, your supplies is 25 cents, and your fees are 50 cents, then charge $4.75. Buyers are smart. They realize when they're paying for your laziness and their shipping cost. Second thing you can do is figure out how the best sellers in your category ship their items. As many good leaders have said, success leaves clues. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. What are others doing that is working? Go buy an item or two from the top sellers. Figure out what they're doing that's so effective. For me, I learned in sports cards that doubling my bubble mailers would prevent almost all potential damage to my shipments. In addition, when a customer received a double packaged sports card, it made them feel like I went the extra mile, and it only added 10 cents to my cost. Third thing you can do is buy in bulk. If you're running to the office supply store to buy your mailers, that's on you. Take 10 minutes, do some research on the supplies you need for the next 3 to 6 months, and buy the most you possibly can in bulk. You can use a site like Uline, but Amazon is many times just as good. In fact, if you're mailing smaller items, you'll find some of my personal favorite Amazon deals in the show notes below. Buy these items in bulk and save hundreds or even thousands on shipping every single year. And doing this will allow you to buy the supplies you need to go the extra mile in your shipping and keep you from stressing out about not having the right material for packaging. One more tip on shipping. Pay super close attention to your item weights and dimensions. If any of those are entered incorrectly and you have a calculated shipping price, your buyer will always get misquoted. This happens a lot more than you think. Sometimes it's because the seller accidentally selected a calculated shipping profile. Other times it's just because of ignorance of the situation. Either way, take a minute and make sure you have your item weights and dimensions set up correctly. This will ensure that you're not undercharging or even overcharging on shipping. I think neither one of them is something that you want. So stop being a lazy shipper. All right, fourth mistake is not using eBay marketing tools. This one really does baffle me. eBay provides some of the most comprehensive marketing tools on any reselling platform, and most of them are free. You can send a newsletter, you can run a shipping promotion, you can provide coupons, and now even provide videos and additional social promotions around your store. But nearly all sellers that I follow don't use eBay marketing to its full capabilities. I've put out longer videos on this subject, but let me give you 3 marketing tools that you need to use right now. The first one is listings eligible to send offers. This is a no-brainer. Do you know what qualifies an item to appear in this section? This is direct from eBay. Buyers who are interested in these listings and have recently added them to their carts or watch list, but haven't placed an order. What? This is the person that walked into your store, put the item into their shopping cart, walked up to the counter to pay, and then something happened and they changed their mind last minute. You cannot get a warmer lead than this. So sending an offer to that person has a very high likelihood of closing. Send a discount with a quick note twice a day on this tab. It'll add sales to your bottom line immediately. All right, second marketing tip, discount on sale items. No one wants dead inventory. I put an entire video out on dead inventory. If you haven't watched it, check it out here. But you can very easily stay on top of dead inventory by just discounting items based on the time in your store. If you create a sales event inside of the Create Discount tab, you can sort items by days on site. This allows you to create a liquidation event on items that aren't getting any traction. It's super easy, and it's something that you should do probably bi-weekly or at least monthly. The third tip on marketing is store newsletters. Click Store in the Selling Manager, then click Store Newsletter. eBay does not overcomplicate this process, and I appreciate that. They give you a few ways to compose the newsletter. They then give you some simple ways to segment your buyers or followers, and then they make it easy to send out the newsletter. Leveraging this piece of marketing is crucial because it allows you to interact with your buyers outside of eBay. They get a reminder inside of their email inbox tailored around your store and your items. In the last 90 days, I've done this. I've generated hundreds of extra clicks on my own items and another 2,000 plus in sales just from the automated newsletter, which took me 10 minutes to set up. I put it on autopilot and I let the system work for me. There are plenty of other eBay marketing tools that they give you as well. Subscribe to the channel and the free email newsletter and I'll give you more of them. And finally, the last mistake eBay sellers make is not having an inventory system. This one isn't customer facing in the sense that the buyer would notice, but this is the single most important process improvement that I've personally made in the last 5 years. I know that's a bold statement, but let me lay this out for you. You work hard. You spend time sourcing, you properly price your item, you take great photos, your communication's spot on, and you eventually sell your item. But then it happens. You look and you waste minutes upon minutes searching for the item that you sold. Those individual minutes eventually become cumulative hours. I've spoken to so many resellers over the years who do not have an inventory system for their items. Some of these sellers have thousands of items in their store, and they can all relate to the pain of wasted time searching for sold items to ship. When you start really optimizing your selling, the biggest thing that you should focus on is wasted time. And there is no bigger waste of time than looking for an item that you've already sold. It slows down your ship time. It impacts other items' ship time. It might even eventually impact your customer satisfaction. And after all of that, it potentially trickles down and impacts your ability to list other items or do other revenue generating activities. An inventory system is so incredibly easy. Here's what I do. I put my SKUs in my title. I save the last 4 characters of my title for my SKU, which by the way, aren't even really considered in the eBay search weighting. More on this another time. So when I print my manifest every single day, I have the titles and the SKUs right in front of me. And then on the back end, my shelves are organized by SKU category and SKU number. So when I go pick the items, I put them with my labels, they're right there in front of me, and off we go. Batches of shipments that 5 years ago would have taken me 3 hours now take me 30 minutes, and that's being very conservative. Invest your time in building a SKU system for your items. It will blow your mind and how it transforms the back end. All right, raise your hand if you think eBay selling is spectacular. I mean, there are many ways to sell, and there's a lot of ways to get better at our craft. But hopefully these 5 tips help you make a positive tweak in your own store. And if you like this video, let us know. We'll keep giving you more of them. In the meantime, check out one of these recent videos here to scratch that itch. Take care.